Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's LaRaysha here. Today I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery story. So I'm not going to ramble, I'm going to jump right into it. August 27th, I woke up around 2 a.m. in the morning with like cramp-like pains. And at first I'm like, I didn't think anything of it because I'm like, okay, sometimes I get little cramps here and there, but these cramps were like coming like every 8 minutes. I'm like, okay, maybe they're Braxton Hicks. I tried not to think about it, try to go back to sleep, but it didn't work. And so I finally got up around 7, like, okay, I'm tired of laying here in pain, like it's coming and going, coming and going. So I go to use the restroom in TMI. So I went to wipe and there was like brown I don't know, on the tissue or whatever, and I was telling myself like it's not blood because it's not red. So I was like, but from like reading different stuff and like the apps and stuff, they were like your mucus plug could fall out or whatever the case. So I was just like, okay, I feel like that's what it was. I texted my sister and told her, you know, that I had found like brown whatever on the tissue, and then I was having contractions, like could it be labor or whatever, and she's like, yeah, that's probably what it is. But at that point when I had texted her, they were like between 15 and 30 minutes apart. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just false labor or something like that. So I'm like, I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna call the doctor, but the office didn't open till 8:30. So I'm just sitting there like in and out of pain or whatever. So finally 8:30 comes around, I call, and I had to leave a message for like the phone nurse or whatever because no one answered. And then she had called me back, but at this point my mom had called because she was like, oh, why you didn't call me if you thought you were in labor, you know, like seconds after I had texted my sister. So I don't know. So I was on the phone with her when the nurse called, but she left a message and she was saying like, yeah, it sounds like you're in labor, so if your contractions start to be 5 to 10 minutes apart, then we want you to go to the hospital. So I'm just sitting there because at this point too, like they're now between 8 and 15 minutes apart. So I'm like, okay, I have to wait till they're like 5 minutes. And in my mind I'm like thinking like I have to wait till they're like 4 and 5 minutes apart for whatever reason, because I've been watching like hella videos, like ever since I got pregnant I've been watching like hella videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and they always say like your contractions have to be 4 to 5 minutes apart to go to the hospital. So I'm like, okay, they're not. So I'm not gonna rush to go to the hospital. So the day goes on and I'm still having like these cramps in and out, and I'm starting to track them on the, I think it's baby center whatever app. So it has like a contraction counter or whatever. So I'm doing that, and then they're still like between 8 and 15. So I'm like, okay, they're not close. So I'm going about my day, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try to shower, wash my hair, because I wanted to retwist my hair, because I was like, just in case he does come, like I didn't want to have no crazy roots and then just add to the problems of like having crazy hair or whatever. So like I said, at this point they're now at like 30 minutes apart. So I'm like, okay, this shit is out of hand. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna go in the shower. So I go into the shower. I was able to shower, wash my hair, you know, get myself together for the day. Literally when I stepped out of the shower, I had like a severe contraction, and it lasted for like 2 minutes. And I'm just like, oh my god, it hurts so bad. Like I was like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. And that was the longest one. All the ones before were about 30 seconds, like they would go for 30 seconds and then end. This was the longest one, and then like right after that it was like 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I'm just trying to work through it. So I'm sitting down trying to retwist my hair, and like it literally took me about 3 hours to retwist my hair because I had to keep getting up and walking around and stuff like that, because the contractions would keep coming and then go like ending, and like when they weren't happening, like I felt perfectly fine, and as soon as they would hit, it was just like hell. So I finally made it through like twisting my hair. So I was like, okay, I'm hungry, so I'm like, I'm gonna eat. Like, contractions or not, I'm gonna eat. At the same time, I'm like texting Robert the whole time, and he's constantly asking me like, is it still going on, or you know, like, how's it going? I'm like, they're still coming, but they're far apart and stuff like that. And he's like, are you sure? Do you think you need to go to the hospital? I was like, I don't want to go to the hospital and get sent home. Like, that was my biggest thing. Like, because I've seen, like, from the videos and stuff, like, a lot of people, they'll go to the hospital and they'll be like, well, your contractions are too far apart, so come back. Like, I didn't want to have to go through that. So whatever the case, I'm eating. By this time, he's coming home, and he's like watching me because I'm like struggling to try to eat because I'm in so much pain, but I'm so greedy. I'm like, fuck that. If I have to go into labor and you can't eat anything, I'm gonna eat now, because I ain't missing a meal. Like, I didn't want to miss a meal. So I'm sitting there hunched over trying to like eat these damn tacos and fucking be in pain at the same time. And he's just watching me looking crazy. Like, he's like, you sure we don't need to go to the doctor? I was like, we can't go yet because it's not time. This is what they told me or whatever. And I'm like freaking out. Like, this is crazy. I'm gonna show you like a short clip of like my tragedy. So that'll come in right here.
Yeah, man. Them labor pains. This is crazy. Look, I ain't even get a chance to eat. Just got home and shit. I think we about to call the doctor though, cause she having them too close. Way too close. Ooh. They say 5 and 10 minutes, but she having them way too close. You wanna say something?
No. Where's my phone? Okay, did you guys see that? I still had my clips in and everything. Like, I was going through it. It's like 9 o'clock at night. Is it? Yeah, no, it was like 8. It was like 8 o'clock at night. So Zion's asleep and we're still up or whatever, and he's like, where's your bag, where's your bag? I'm like, oh, it's right there. Like, and he's trying to move everything to the front. He's like, you gotta call the hospital, you gotta call the hospital. I was like, I don't want to get sent home. He's like, no man, you're in labor. So I finally, like, whatever, because I don't like to listen. So I finally call the hospital or whatever. Y'all know that shit was automated. So I was not talking to a person. Like, this automated system thing was like asking me all these questions. Mind you, I'm in pain. I don't have time for this shit. And they're like, oh, you have to leave a message. I'm like, so y'all telling me you expect people to leave messages who are in labor? So I'm like, whatever. I leave the message. Probably like 5-10 minutes later, a nurse calls me, and then she go on to keep asking me more questions. I'm like, listen, I can barely talk. So at this point, they're coming like every 4 or 5 minutes, and they're lasting for up to 1 minute to 2 minutes. So I'm struggling to answer these questions, and she's just like, breathe through it. And I'm like, oh my god. So finally go through all the questions. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna send you to the hospital. So we get in the car, go to the hospital. We get there. I'm thinking, you know, you get there, you go straight to your room or something. No, they wanted me to fill out more papers. Like, I had already pre-registered in like May. Mind you, my baby was due in September. So I'm like, I didn't want to fill out papers, but I still had to fill out something. And then we had to wait. So I'm sitting there waiting to like go into the room, and there's like 3 other pregnant ladies there, and they're just sitting there all relaxed, and I'm the only one like just going through it. And I guess they were all there to have their babies, but everybody else was calm as hell. And I'm like, I am losing it. Like, so I get up and I just start walking around, because that is like the only thing that's helpful. After that, we finally get into the room, and they're like, you know, take all your stuff off, lay on the bed. And I'm still struggling through these contractions, trying to like put on this stupid gown or whatever. And at this time, it's like 9 p.m. We got to the hospital at 9. So yeah, 9 p.m. and then we go in there, get everything down. They're like, oh, we're gonna check your cervix. I was 1 centimeter dilated. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, the way this shit feels, it felt like he would come out like instantly or at some point real quick. But 1 centimeter. They're like, you have to be at 10 to start pushing. I'm like, okay. So, and then they're like, you have to be between 3 and 4 centimeters to get the epidural. So I'm like, are you kidding me? So yeah, so we're in the room, we're just waiting at this point, and they gave me some type of medicine or whatever that was supposed to do something, I don't know. Like, it literally lasted for like 10 minutes and that was it. I'm like, so it was really pointless for me to take this because it doesn't do anything. I'm like, why y'all even offering this medicine that doesn't do anything? So I'm like, whatever. So I'm just sitting there and I get up, sit down, get up, sit down, because I'm just like, oh my god. So at this point it's 3 a.m. so now we're into Tuesday the 28th, and I've been sitting there, and mind you, I've been having contractions since 2 a.m. the day before. So this has basically been over 24 hours that I have been in labor. It was not fun at all. So here comes 3 o'clock. She comes in, checks my cervix again, and she's like, okay, you're at 3.5. I'm like, fucking thank you. Because I finally get the epidural, which was nothing. Like, I'm not afraid of needles or anything like that. Like, it wasn't hard for me to stay still through the contractions or anything. Like, he put it in and we was done. And when I say that shit hit, and it was literally the greatest thing I have ever felt in my entire life. Like, I was literally on, I don't even know, like, it was the greatest thing in the world. Like, all the pain just disappeared and it was amazing. So that happened, but we're still, like I said, I'm only at 3.5 centimeters, so I'm still just having to sit there. But at this point, at least I'm not in pain. And fast forward to around, I want to say 8 o'clock in the morning. They come back in, check me again. They're like, okay, you're 6. And I'm just like, what the hell? It's 8 o'clock in the morning now and I'm only at 6 centimeters. Like, what is going on? And like, luckily I wasn't in any pain, but like, my body was tired from like laying in the bed, and I'm just like, oh my god, it was crazy. So then probably like, I would say like 15 minutes after that though, like the pain started to come back. Like, my legs and my parts and stuff were still numb, but like where the cramps were, like, you know, the area where you get cramps and like my lower back, like the pain started to come back. So I called the nurse and I'm like, is the epidural supposed to wear off at some point or something? She's like, oh, we're gonna come back in. So they gave me some more of something, whatever, inside of the little tube for the epidural. So it came back, everything went back numb, and then it happened again. Probably like 2 hours later, it happened again. I had to call the anesthesiologist, if I said that right. That person came in twice, so that was 2 times that I felt like my epidural was running off, not running off, that my epidural was, what is it called, wearing off. And then eventually they got it fixed, like everything was numb again. So they come back probably around, let me see, noon. So around noon they come back and they're like, okay, you're at 8. I'm like, I was like, oh my god. They're like, oh, it's so close, it's gonna happen soon. I'm just like, but it's not though. Like, I still have 2 centimeters to go, and I'm just like, ugh. Because at this point, like, I'm not in pain, like I said, but it's just, it is hard to just be sitting there for so long, and like so long. I'm just sitting there, and then I can't eat, like I can't get up. So, and everybody sleep. Mind you, Robert went to sleep in the middle of the night, comfortable. Well, I don't know about comfortable because they were sleeping on a little bench, him and Zion. But how you gonna go to sleep? I'm sitting here in crazy pain and you have the audacity to go to sleep. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I'm not gonna let it upset me though. But anyway, back to that. It was, yeah, I was 8, and then finally around like 2 something, they come back in. They're like, yay, you're at 10 centimeters. And I'm just looking like, so that mean the baby coming or what? Because at this point I'm fed up. Like, I'm tired. Y'all keep telling me this baby coming, but it's still so far away. So yeah, at 2 something I was 10 centimeters finally. They come in, and now it's time to push. So this was the best part. Like, I literally did 2 big pushes and he was out. Like, that was it. Like, he was born. And I was like, thank you, thank you. Like, I didn't feel like, I felt it, but it didn't hurt at all, which was, oh, thank you, because I don't even know like how people do it naturally. Like, I'm scared to death to do a natural birth, honestly. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, my sister said she had one with her youngest, and she was like, it wasn't that bad. I said, I ain't trying that shit my first time around. Like, if I have another baby, maybe I'll try it, but it scares the hell out of me. I was like, more power to you. Calm down, because I don't know how people do it. I had the baby at 2:47 p.m. So contractions started at 2 a.m. I had the baby the following day at 2:47 p.m. and he was 7 pounds 6 ounces and 20 inches long. So he was a long baby. Funny thing is, I don't know if I told you guys that he was born, so he was born on the 28th of August, but he was originally due the 3rd, so he came about a week early. And I feel like if he would have stayed in there to the 3rd, he would have been an 8-pounder. And so I'm glad that he came early, you know. So he was still full term and stuff like that, so that's cool. So that was my labor and delivery story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now it's time to meet little Kingston. I'm gonna try to show you guys him. He has been throwing a fit. So I don't know if he's gonna cry in this shot or not, but I'm gonna try to show you the baby. So this is him. This is the baby. Can't really get a good picture of his face because he won't take that pacifier out. That and he'll start screaming, but that's him. He said hi. And this is baby Kingston. Today he is actually 9 days old, so a little over a week. We already had his first little newborn appointment. They just basically just checked his height, weight, and just looked him over. And we have another appointment next week that is his actual 2-week appointment. So I don't know what all they do there, but we'll be going to that next week. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to check out my other videos, the daily vlogs, or somewhat daily vlogs that I will be doing and incorporating the baby into now, since it's just really just me and him home all day. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.